And 72% of the time the market goes up. And the answer came to me. And that's what I developed my chart. The answer came to me is because, just like Caterpillar, when they pull their money out, you get out. Whoa.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Network.
Oh, God. Are you nuts?
With your host, Phil Grande.
Bye. Thank you for joining my podcast today. And again, we got a lot to talk about. The market, you got to be very, very careful. This is not a bull market rally. This is a relief rally. And the problem with the relief rallies, they're not around long. They're like short covering rallies, and essentially they are. So the key is, when you have rallies like this, unless the institutional money comes in heavy, it doesn't hold. Now, we are getting help for the institutional money. Now, they're not coming out of their bond market. They're still deep in the bond market. They don't think it's time yet to come out and go into stocks. But what they are seeing is a typical relief rally that they're going to participate in and make some money. The key is you got to keep watching the IWM, SPY, and the Qs. If they remain green, then that's okay. It'll keep rallying as long as they remain green, and the yields show every day they're starting to come down. The key is the yields coming down every day. If they come down a little, that means that the institutions will participate in the rally ever so slightly. Don't be confused. They're not going to be rotating their investment grade bonds and treasuries to shift into the stock market. They're not about to do that, especially when we see inflation is everywhere. It's going to get worse. But there's an opportunity here to make money in the short covering rally for us, the retail, and for them. So they're going to take advantage of it. In fact, their computers are so fast that they can make a ton of money in one day just on small spreads. So, but here's the key. What happens is this. Yields will always trigger a crash, and IWM always confirms the crash. So, what do I mean by that? Well, yields, you got to get the yields down to about 3.95. Got to get them just below 4 before the big institutions pull out of the bond market and jump into stocks. We're not there. We're right now, I think, about 4. Let me just check. I think we're around 428. Yeah, 428. That's a long ways away from 3.95 or even 4. But we got to get there. So as long as the institutions see this relief rally, as long as the three indices stay nice and green, and we don't see IWM rolling over and the Q's sitting back and the S&P sitting back, didn't roll over, then this can go up for a little bit, for a while, I should say. Now, the idea is to watch the yield. That's what you got to depend on, and every day hope that yield drops. If it starts going up, then this whole rally will stop dead, and it'll stop dead very quickly. So that's what investors don't understand. And the other thing they don't understand is that, remember, when these institutions are buying stocks, they'll go in and they'll buy tech stocks or whatever, but they're not going to marry these stocks. They're not buying and holding, okay? And the problem is that the retail investor, he doesn't understand that there's two things that are going on here. You got to keep those yields going down. At the same time, you want to see the yield curve heading up towards 150. If the yield curve doesn't hit 150, then we got a problem. They're not going to come in. So they need solid lower yields, the institutions. They want to see the yield curve going up and hitting 150, and they want to see their investment grade bonds, their spreads stay at 88 or less. So if the spreads stay at 88 or less, and the three indices stay green, then this can go on, for a little while. But remember, relief rallies are just that, relief. Okay, it's nothing more than, oh my God, thank God the deal's over. Now Trump, remember, is going to do anything to get out of this war right now. He's got a problem. He's got to find a ramp out of this war because we're getting closer to the elections, midterm elections, and there's a tremendous amount of inflation. It's everywhere. So he's very concerned. That's why he stopped the war, and he's trying to work a deal out that he can get everything he wants, but without a war, without boots on the ground. That's going to be a pretty tough deal to do. So just remember that we also have to have, to keep this relief rally going, we need breadth. We got to expand the breadth in the market. Right now, it's only a few stocks, and here we go back again, the tech stocks driving up the market. That doesn't work. We got to get these yields to drop to 3.8, 3.9, and so we get a broad rally instead of a handful of stocks. Now, the breadth, what I'm talking about with that, we want to see, or the institutions want to see, at least 75% of the stocks, the S&P, must go green. So you need 75% of the stocks to go green. You need the three indices, IWMQs and the spiders, to stay green. You need yields to keep heading down, not choppy. When you see yields going up and down, even the small amount of institution buying right now will stop. That's one thing they don't want to see, is during the day, they're down, they're up, they're down, they're up. They don't want to see that. So as long as the indices are green, as long as we see the yields coming down every day, then we'll see a participation, okay? And as long as, again, now to get that bull rally, we need to see the credit spreads. What I'm talking about with that is the 10-year Treasury yield minus the investment grade bonds, okay? We want to see a nice clean 88% or lower. 88 is perfect. And of course, we want to see the yield curve, as I said a moment ago, to head up, hit that, and trigger 150. The minute it triggers 150, then they're going to take all their money out of their bond market, and they're going to turn around and they'll put it right smack into stocks. But that's not happening. So just always remember, the yields trigger crashes. Because the yields, as they say, if the yields keep on going up, they'll trigger the crash. IWM confirms it by rolling over before the S&P and the Q. So it's pretty simple. It's not complicated like the suits try to tell you on TV. It's real simple. You don't have to ask the question, when's the market going to crash? Just remember, it's going to crash if, again, IWM rolls over before the Qs and the S&P. And the yields, instead of heading down from where we are now at 4.28 to 4, if this stops going the other way, we're going to have a crash. If oil keeps going back up and hits 112, we could possibly have stagflation. So the big problem, again, for Trump, I mean, right now, as far as we're trading right now, we're making some money. We're doing pretty good. We've been trading the banks. The banks, we've been doing a really good job on the banks. We've been making money there. So we hope that the yields keep coming down every day because we're making good money. But here's the problem with the market overall. Trump, okay, as I said, he stopped bombing because he's nervous. He's trying to find a ramp, okay, to get out of this war, ramp off. Now, the big problem is he's desperate. I mean, he's desperate. He wants this thing to end because gasoline is the killer. You know, gasoline is up 33%. And you got healthcare going up, housing still going up. And that's, you know, people, it's their wallet that comes first. They don't care that we're getting rid of these crazy people in Iran, these nutty people who at any moment could develop a bomb, an atomic bomb, and drop it on us. They're more concerned right now about gasoline. That's their big problem. And food and gas are the pain points. When you have gas up 33% and you have beef and veal, I think that's up around 14, 15%. Nobody thinks about, well, you know, this is a good thing he's doing because I don't have to worry about an atomic bomb landing in my swimming pool. 99.999% don't even think about that. They don't even think about it. I mean, no, the people have no idea what he has done for this world for generations to come. If he finishes the war, we don't know if he's going to finish it. I would hope he goes in and finishes and takes the regime, get rid of the regime. He's got to get rid of the regime. Because let's say he makes a deal with them and we even take the uranium out. We're not going to find all the uranium. They got the uranium hid somewhere. We're not going to find it all. And if they don't change the regime and we still have nutballs running Iran, which we will have, nothing's going to change. Maybe it takes them 10 years, 12 years. Obama gave them what? Enough money they could finish the thing off in 2, 3 years, 5 years, forgot what it was. Trump's not going to do that. But we know that if he makes a deal with them and, oh yeah, come take all our uranium, we know they're not going to give them all the uranium. They got it hidden somewhere. They're experts at that. They're experts at that, and they're experts at cheating and lying and killing. You got to go in and wipe them out. That's my opinion. But anyways, let's get back to business. And it's got stock. So be very careful with the tech stocks, okay? Everybody thinks, hey, I'm just going to jump in and buy tech stocks. I'm going to make a fortune. Everybody jumping in and think, oh, they're on the bottom. Well, remember, between the bottom and at the top, where they lost and then started to drop, those are all sellers in between. So let's say the stock was at 100, came down to $10. Now when that stock starts going back up, and you think, oh, I'm going to buy it at 10, this is going to be an easy ride to 100. No, it's not. No, it is not an easy ride to 100. I'll tell you that right now. From 10 to 100, you got massive amount of sellers in there. You got to punch your way up through those sellers. You need massive institutional buying, and we're not going to get massive institutional buying. Not unless we get the yields down below 4%. That's not going to happen, especially when we got another problem. We got, the Fed chairman, Powell, he can't raise rates because of inflation. He can't cut rates. He can't raise or cut. So Trump has to really do a real dance here. And energy, remember, is the thing that's really a problem because, and this is why he wants out of this war. It's all about energy. He wants out of this war. Because when oil rises, everything rises. Oil's in lipstick. Oil's in paper bags. Oil's in everything. So when oil starts to rise, everything rises. Food, your shipping costs, manufacturing, transportation, everything goes crazy. So in every time a ship, an oil, these transports can't get through, oil prices go up. And they go, and he said, well, it doesn't. We get very little oil from that area. Doesn't matter if we get no oil. All the other oil is going to go up around the world. We buy all our stuff from people around the world. We don't manufacture anything anymore. So if China is paying more for oil, Taiwan, Nam, they're all paying for oil. That's where we buy all our stuff from. Everything we import is going to be more expensive. Now, the other problem is, too, is that our companies, our corporations have a real problem because, remember, they export. And when that dollar keeps going up, that really hurts. So he's got to find a way out of this war quick, or we're going to lose the midterm elections, and we could really find ourselves into stagflation. Always watch that $112 oil. That's where stagflation kicks in after it's like 112, 115 for about a month or two. See you on a chart. Join my gang, philsgang.com.